Testing 1 2 1 2 3. Okay. Take 1 for Ugonma, directed by Mariam Elias. Wow, this is harder than I thought. Growing up for me as a dark-skinned girl, I'd have to say was pretty normal. I come from a house of all Black women. I'm Nigerian, so growing up, I've always just been surrounded by people who look like me, people who represent me, and I'd have to say that's very, very positive, and I appreciate that so much looking back now. But of course, there always comes a time where you realize yourself as an individual. And for me, that started with school, kind of specifically middle school. I've kind of grown up going to predominantly white institutions, so it's not always uncommon for me to be the only Black girl in a class or even just be the only Black person in a class. So dealing with that in terms of representation, I mean, sometimes it's thrown me off, I'll give it that, but it wasn't always uncommon. Being in middle school, and of course, you have those character building moments when people make slick comments about this or that. And for me, it was usually about my skin tone. Being made fun of for my skin tone was one thing, but then going online and seeing other Black women who look like me being made fun of for their skin tone kind of broke me. I started to question if there was really something wrong with me, how I looked, how I spoke, how I acted, and I want to know if there is something I could do to change that. And there isn't. And there never will be. It always just kind of felt like I was fighting to be seen. I was fighting to be heard. And that gets really, really tiring. Colorism has definitely had an impact on my life. It has changed the way I see me. I've also noticed that sometimes it's changed the way that other people perceive me, but I will never let it define me. If someone doesn't like how I look, doesn't like how I talk, doesn't like how I act, all based on the amount of melanin I have in my skin, that's on them. There's nothing I can do to change that, and there's nothing I will do to change that, because I know who I am. I want every other young Black girl to know that the girl who you see in the mirror is amazing, and nobody can take that from you. And nobody will. My traditional Nigerian name is Ugonma, meaning a beautiful bird. And I mean, I love nature. I love birds. I can't say I love the outdoors because I do not like bugs. But I mean, I love my name. I love my skin. I love every part about me that makes me who I am. And I am so, so proud to be Ugonma.